Guy that we can't overlook. You never overlook any opponent. We can't base everything just off power.
Yeah. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I want everybody to know that it's gonna be an upset.
Floyd Mayweather praised Lamont Roach after training with him, saying people judge too quickly without knowing how hard he works.
Another big fight. Two great competitors going out there to show the world what they got. Tank has been on a big stage for a while now, but we all have to give somebody else the opportunity. Before I became TBE, somebody had to give me the opportunity. So what Tank is doing is giving another tough competitor an opportunity. He's tough. And when this fight first was made, I didn't know much about this fighter. Then I had a chance to do my homework and look him up. And I faced guys like this before, you know, and this is a guy that we can't overlook. You never overlook any opponent. We can't base everything just off power.
Private workout showed his speed, sharpness, and discipline. His footwork was precise, his combinations were crisp, and his defense was solid. He looked focused, determined, and ready for battle. Roach is training like a champion, proving his doubters wrong and showing he's a real threat in boxing.
You know where something going on? I go that way for a reason. Who's recording? Who's recording?
Lamont Roach training footage looks sharp. His speed, footwork, and technique are on point. He's showing great improvement, with crisp punches and smooth movement. Roach has been fine-tuning his skills, making sure every part of his game is ready for the biggest fight of his career. He has made it clear that this will be a tough night for Tank Davis fans. Roach believes people are underestimating him and that he has what it takes to pull off a major upset. Confident in his game plan, he's ready to expose weaknesses in Davis' style.
I came to fight. It was a very competitive fight, good fight.
Yeah,
you wore him down. I remember it very well. Wore him down, took control, looked very impressive. And the rumor is, not the rumor, the facts is you have a fight coming up in a few weeks versus Gervonta Tank Davis.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I want everybody to know that it's gonna be an upset.
Renowned boxing analyst Ol Bernstein is doubtful about Lamont Roach's chances against Tank Davis. He believes Roach hasn't shown the power needed to beat a strong opponent like Davis, who has an impressive record and multiple titles. Roach will have to prove he can compete at Davis' level.
About the big one coming up in a month, another guy you called several of his fights, Gervonta Davis, fighting Lamont Roach is a significant favorite. Do you think Roach is being undervalued as an underdog, or it will probably go the way people think it will go?
You know, Roach is coming up in weight. He came up in weight I don't see. Honestly, I don't see him. He's a good fighter, but I don't see. He's nothing in his past tells me he's going to beat Gervonta Davis or even be competitive with him. And I'm not. It's not a denigration of Lamont Roach. He's a good fighter. He won a title at a lower weight, and that was a surprise to some people that he did get, even though he was a good prospect. So it's just hard to imagine him beating Davis.
The other Davis is fighting for a world title 2 weeks before in New York against Morenchik.
Oh yeah, Keyshawn Davis.
Yeah.
That's a fascinating fight and a really, really good fight. And you know, Davis has looked really good in his recent fights, but this is certainly the best fighter he's fought. Although he just beat a good fighter.
The boxing community has raised concerns about Tank Davis choosing Lamont Roach as his next opponent. Critics argue that Davis is avoiding tougher fights against top contenders like Shakur Stevenson. Many believe he should be facing bigger names with more established records instead of Roach, who is not yet widely known.
Puncher, I feel at the 135
would probably be Gervonta Tank Davis. But the most skillful fighter at 135 would be hands down Shakur Stevens.
And what is it about him? Because I know he have a lot of good attributes, but do you think he has enough power?
Well, it's really all about skills. Pernell Whitaker wasn't a huge puncher, but he was, very exciting, very tough, and he fought everybody. And Shakur is trying to do the same thing. He want to fight the best they got out there. He's asking, can he fight the best? I believe his contract is coming to an end, so hopefully we can come together and I can take him to that next level and give him the fights that he wants.
Boxing figures like Claressa Shields and Oscar de la Hoya have shared their thoughts on the Davis versus Roach fight. Shields recognizes Roach's potential but highlights Davis's proven skills and experience. De la Hoya, however, thinks Roach is being underestimated and could surprise fans with the right strategy.
Beat him, so Lamont Roach is a good fighter, but and I'm happy to see a fighter like Lamont Roach, who's had to come up the blue-collar way, get a big opportunity, get a big payday. But now that I've said that, it's an underwhelming fight, and everybody's saying that because it's true. And this is a fight that would have made more sense for Gervonta Davis a couple years ago, back when Gary Russell was rumored as an opponent. And this would be, like a good DMV rivalry, two guys from the DMV area. But in 2024, when Tank's already headlined a lot of pay-per-views, it's underwhelming. And before the Gervonta Davis fans try to come at my throat, I get it. Lomachenko walked away from the table. Of course, that's after, some years earlier of Tank saying he wasn't interested in that fight. Fight was never officially negotiated by Top Rank or PBC, but for years, Gervonta had no real intention of fighting Lomachenko. And now Lomachenko has walked away from the table now that the fight's available. I understand that. I understand Shakur Stevenson really is opting more the William Zepeda route. I understand that Teofimo Lopez has only really called Davis out once the Lamont Roach fight was really being talked about around Canelo Berlanga fight week and was close to probably being finalized.
Despite being a world champion, Lamont Roach is still not widely known. This makes some people think Tank Davis picked an easy fight. However, Roach supporters believe his underdog status could be an advantage, as opponents might underestimate him. Fighters who are overlooked often deliver their best performances when they have nothing to lose.
They're offended by it. They don't have anything good to say about it. So obviously, it does matter. What's up, everybody? It's your man Sean Sattel getting ready. So obviously it does matter. And just like Teofimo, Shakur, Lomachenko, they haven't exactly convinced me or the public that they really want to fight Gervonta Davis. I don't think myself or the public are that convinced he really, really wants to fight them. And he has leverage being a draw at the box office that he is. So my challenge to Gervonta in 2025 is make it happen. You bring the money to the table. I know you can't tie someone up and force them to get in the ring with you, but you have the response. With great power comes great responsibility. He's one of the faces of boxing now in 2024, heading into 2025. Make it happen in 2025. Call these guys up if you have to. I guess Spence and Crawford talked on the phone to help make a fight happen. So do what you got to do, throw your weight around. Make one of these guys get in the ring. Call them out because, again, I'm not convinced that I'm not letting off these other guys off the hook. You can't do this whataboutism where you just pick one side or the other. Oh, well, Tank's ducking Shakur or Shakur's ducking Tank. No. They both got to come together and realistically show the boxing world they want to happen, because fighters always tell us if two guys want to fight, then the promoters and all that can't really get in the way.
People criticize Lamont Roach simply because they don't know him or his achievements. Unlike Tank Davis, who is a household name with huge exposure, Roach hasn't had the same spotlight. Fans trust Davis because they've seen his knockouts, dominance, and championship wins, while Roach remains underrated. This fight could be Roach's chance to prove himself and break into the mainstream boxing conversation.
Big hair, don't care. On the way to the gym, and I'm just totally perplexed. I see a lot of people on Twitter and on the internet talking about disdain when it comes to, the Tank fight with Lamont Roach. I'm like, what's the problem? They act like Lamont Roach has not fought anybody and he isn't anybody. His only loss is against a former world champion in Jamel Herring. His last 2 fights with McCrory and Hector Luis Garcia, they were fire. This is a legitimate matchup. I don't know what the problem is. Everybody says that Tank needs to fight someone. Now he's fighting someone, and people have something to say. Like, what do y'all want? What do y'all want from these guys? These are the matchups we want to see. It's going to be good. I'm not going to say who I'm picking right now because I want to see more, but respect to both guys.
Lamont Roach is currently ranked 14th in the world and 3rd in the US in the super featherweight division. He holds the WBA title, proving he is a legitimate world champion. Despite this, many fans and analysts don't see him as a real threat to Tank Davis. However, his ranking and championship belts show that he has earned this opportunity.
We're going to be checking for any suspicious opponents on Lamont Roach record. He's 25-1 with 10 big wins coming by the way of knockout, my people. He's in the super featherweight division. He's ranked number 14 in the world and number 3 in the USA, my people. He has a WBA title right now in the super featherweight division. He's fighting Gervonta Davis in December, but you know we got to check how he even got there and how he started his career. His pro debut, he went against Victor. He was 1-3. That's fine. It's your pro debut. First fight as a professional. You feel me? I ain't gonna get at you. Next person was 1-6. Alright, I mean, we ain't do better, but it's your second fight. Like, 4th person was 0-1. That was a little sussy because he ended up 0-10. He never won a day in his life. So he never got his hand raised in a boxing match. You feel me? And then the next person, he stepped it up, though. He went to an undefeated. It's only 2 fights, but he was 2-0. Then 12-9, that's a journey, man. I'm not going to lie. 4-2, 3-4, these are looking good. 8-5, that's a journeyman in the making. He got to win a...
The upcoming fight between Tank Davis and Lamont Roach has received mixed reactions, with some calling it a cherry pick since Roach is moving up to 130 pounds. Former pro boxer Dawood Bey has analyzed the matchup, highlighting the rich boxing history of Washington, D.C. and Baltimore. While some see Roach as an easy fight for Davis, others believe he has a real chance to make history.
Gervonta Davis, Lamont Roach. A lot of people shitting on the fight. A lot of people saying it's a cherry pick. A lot of people saying that, or criticizing Tank for bringing Lamont up to 130. What's your thoughts on that?
I think if you understand the history of D.C. and Baltimore, and then I'm familiar with Roach and them camp a little bit because I'm cool with people that's tight with them and stuff like that. So we all kind of encounter each other. I don't live nothing but 2.5 hours away, right? I wouldn't see none of them coming and laying down, and then Tank is Tank. I think you're gonna get a DMV classic. Like, you're gonna get a good fight. They're gonna fight each other. Lamont gonna fight Tank. You know what I'm saying? So for however long it lasts, or for however long the fireworks is, you know what I mean, going off, he gonna fight him. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he gonna come out there to lay down. So I don't know. I mean, people gonna criticize you no matter what though once you get in like tank position. It don't really matter what you do. Like if you wasn't fighting like Shakur or Devin right now in this next fight, it's probably like 3 people he could be fighting and nobody wouldn't have nothing to say. You understand what I'm trying to say? Not to say that some fights can't be like better than others or whatever, but yeah, if he wasn't fighting Devin, Shakur, or like Tiafimo, then somebody gonna say like it's a cherry pick or everything. I mean, everybody's a cherry pick. Leave it up to them.
Who wins that fight?
Lamont gotta get away from Tank for 36 minutes.
Some believe there's a deeper reason behind Gervonta Davis choosing to fight Lamont Roach. According to boxing legend Mike Tyson, fighters sometimes take certain matchups to help friends financially. This theory suggests Davis might be giving Roach a big payday and exposure rather than seeking the toughest challenge. While Roach is a skilled fighter, many argue Davis had more competitive options, like Shakur Stevenson. Boxing commentator Shiz the Adult has suggested that Davis should move up to the 140 pounds weight class to face tougher opponents. He believes this would lead to more exciting fights and silence critics who say Davis is picking easier matchups. Many fans want to see Davis test himself against bigger and more dangerous fighters.
I was saying have a fight, yes, but have it at 140. Fighting anyone at 140 would be more exciting than this fight against Lamont Roach. Nothing against Lamont Roach, But I'm telling you, Gervonta Tank Davis fanboys, not the fans, but the fanboys, you're not going to be able to convince people that Lamont Roach is someone to get excited about versus Tank. It's not going to happen. You're going to try to call people casuals or whatever. But really, people who really knows boxing, they know that Gervonta Tank Davis is too much for Lamont Roach, right? Now, I was saying go up to 140. Fight who, showbiz? Fight anybody. Just have a fight at 140. And when you see in hindsight that Teofimo Lopez and Devin the American Dream Haney is now negotiating for their fight, you can understand now why I would say something like that. He has a fight at 140, then he takes on the Teofimo Lopez and Devin the American Dream Haney winner.
Tank Davis has adjusted his training routine to match his natural night owl habits. He starts his day around 11 a.m., ensuring he gets enough rest after intense nighttime workouts. After waking up, he drinks a liter of water to rehydrate, followed by a balanced breakfast of 6 egg whites, oatmeal, bananas, and honey to fuel his body. Meanwhile, Lamont Roach is entering the fight with full confidence, demanding to be taken seriously. Moving up in weight, he knows the challenge ahead but is determined to prove his strength and skill. He has been training hard, focusing on power and strategy to counter Davis's aggressive style. Roach believes his boxing ability and precision will be key to pulling off an upset. However, rising lightweight contender Floyd Schofield Jr. thinks Roach is too small for the fight. He even stated, "I should have gotten the fight before Lamont Roach, but that's just my opinion."
So many people. Just on an ending note, I just want to get, your perspective on Tank's fight against Lamont Roach. People are counting out Lamont as well, but how do you see it?
Tank by knockout. Hopefully Lamont can prove me wrong, though. I like Lamont, but I'm just going off of my opinion.
Why?
Cause he's Tank, man. I feel like Lamont's too small. I mean, they're both smaller fighters, but I feel like Lamont's just way too small for Tank. But like I said, hopefully Lamont can prove me wrong. He's a great fighter, too. But I just got Tank as a favorite.
How do you see that happening in the fight? Do you think it comes early? Do you think it comes late?
You never know with Tank. Yeah. You never know. It's all on when he wants to do it. But me personally, I feel like he's going to come late. Probably like 9.
Now, transitioning back to your fight, I asked that question for a reason because do you feel that you can get a knockout in this fight against Shakur given his style? And if so, when in the fight do you feel we see it?
I feel like it would be late. But I feel like I can anybody can knock anyone out. The right punch, anybody. You could probably knock me out if you hit me correctly. Nah, that's a lie. But but not anybody.
Oh, man, that's 2 disses today. First, I'm an old guy, now I got pillow hands.
No, but truthfully, anyone can get knocked out. Anybody. So never know. I hope Shakur's ready.
All right. Floyd, man, good chatting with you. Good seeing you. Appreciate the time. Floyd Schofield taking on Shakur Stevenson this weekend here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia on the DAZN pay-per-view headlined by Dimitri Bivol and Artur Beterbiev, the rematch.
Teofimo Lopez, the WBO super lightweight champion, has shared his thoughts on the fight. While he acknowledges Lamont Roach's talent, he believes Tank Davis is simply too strong and experienced at this weight class. Some fans see this fight as just a stay-busy bout for Davis. Reports suggest he wanted a bigger fight, but most top names in his division were already booked. With no top-tier opponents available, Davis chose to fight Roach to stay active and keep his name relevant in boxing.
Yeah, history, you gotta love it. What do you think about Tank versus, obviously...
Oh, Roach?
Yeah, Roach.
Well, they've known each other for so long now, they grew up nearby in D.C., and I think overall, I think it's gonna be a good fight for as long as Tank wants it to be. Yeah.
You mean he get him out of there?
I think he will. But I think Roach. They know each other very well. They know what type of styles they like to put on. They used to fight a lot in the amateurs, probably sparred too. So I think that it'll just go to show. But remember, everybody got to realize Lamont Roach is going up to 135. He's going up a weight class.
Right.
And I think that's what makes me think that Tank should wipe him out.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned for more next time.